What's up YouTube? It's Nania Yasmin and I'm back with another video. This week we are going to get into the American dream. As a younger millennial myself, I see a lot of discourse online throughout different social media platforms around this topic. Some groups saying it's completely dead and they are giving up on it, while others are saying the American dream is alive and well. And then I've also seen discourse about the American dream for Americans is to leave America. Before we jump into it, I do just want to disclaim the reasons discussed around this topic are subjective. I don't want to pass anything off as fact. So thoughts and opinions may vary, and that's okay. If you feel compelled to leave yours down below, I just ask that you watch the video in its entirety, as well as be mindful of the fact that we are all different. We all come from different backgrounds, have different backstories, experiences, and situations. To get started, I'm going to give the definition of the American dream. That way we have an understanding of what I'm referencing throughout the video. I pulled up this definition directly from dictionary.com. I'm going to read it from my computer, but I'll also pop it up on the screen here for you to see as well. There are two definitions. The first one states a life of personal happiness and material comfort as traditionally sought by individuals in the United States. The example given was, I want to find a decent job, buy a house, have a family, and live the American dream. I think if you were to ask most people what the American dream is, this is the definition they will refer to. This is kind of what's portrayed in a lot of TVs, movies, or even in school. When you hear people reference the American dream, they mention the house, the family, the white picket fence, the dog. That is essentially the American dream. And the second definition is the ideals of freedom, equality, and opportunity traditionally held to be available to every American. That example is the American dream even allows us to criticize America as part of our freedom of speech. I think the second definition is important to point out because I don't see a lot of people reference it by that definition, but I think it's important to the conversation. I actually found an article from the New York Times as I was doing research for this video, and the title caught my eye because it said the American dream is alive and well. I'll link the article down below if you want to check it out yourself. Just for reference, it is from 2019, so I think it's still pretty recent and relevant. But what caught my eye in this article, but it said when Americans were asked what makes the American dream a reality, they did not select as essential factors becoming wealthy, owning a home, or having a successful career. Instead of 85% indicated that to have freedom of choice in how to live was essential to achieving the American dream. I'm not sure the article indicated how many people they surveyed or the age range in which the surveyors were, but this gave me a different perspective and gave me some different talking points that I didn't necessarily consider before. I believe if most people did refer to the American dream or think of the American dream as having freedom of choice in the way you live, they would agree with that. I personally agree with that, especially with technology, the internet, and social media these days. We have a lot of access to more information. We have a better idea of what to expect from other countries and what life may look like there. It also gives us more opportunities, right? We see remote work now. We see people working from home, a lot of online businesses, as well as self-employment. I think having tools that give us the opportunity to kind of think outside of the box and define things for ourselves is an incredible thing to have. This leads me to a conversation I've seen more recently, which is the American dream now is to leave. There are opportunities and privileges Americans can experience even outside of the States. Aside from the opportunities the internet and technology have provided, we have the ability to utilize our American passports. That allows us to leave the country and travel to a lot of different countries as well. And for others, myself included, that has also looked like living in another country. Having the ability to decide that as well as act on it is a huge blessing and freedom not everyone has access to. So in that case, case, I guess you can say the American dream is alive and well as it relates to the second definition. But I will add, we shouldn't have to leave our home country in order to experience things like affordable healthcare, better quality food, and safer communities, right? A side hustle shouldn't be necessary in order to earn a livable wage or obtain things that are included in the American dream. Also, your status as an American heavily affects the possibility of being able to act on these privileges. Our experiences as Americans do not look the same across the board. And because of our country's past and present, we are not all starting from the same place. There are huge factors and disparities that come into play. So the idea of leaving everything behind and going to another country isn't necessarily an easy solution for everyone. And so I can definitely see why some people would disagree with these takes. Now, as we referred to the first definition, I want to give some reasons behind why people, especially younger generations, are giving up on this, are saying this American dream is completely dead. Number one, I think being the obvious, I talk a lot about it on my channel personally, which is one of the reasons behind me leaving the country. But that is because the American dream is no longer attainable. And this is due to many reasons, such as the cost of living, inflation, stagnant wages, which has also led to higher rates of depression, anxiety, as well as debt. Either that, or it's simply just not being for everyone. Some people don't wish to acquire wealth or material things. They prefer a slower, simpler way of life, allowing for more experiences, time to travel, time to spend with family, and to just be happy. Younger generations are also no longer finding the American dream worth it. The journey towards it is exhausting. For little or seemingly no reward at all, there's very little hope in the current retirement plans in place due to the state of our economy. And I think social media and the internet has also opened up a lot of conversation about the American dream being unfulfilling, as others have obtained some aspects of the American dream, including the degree, the car, the house, job titles, etc. They still find themselves unhappy. They're still seeking joy, fulfillment, and purpose. I think this is a conversation worth having with yourself, your friends, family, peers, and partners especially. What does the American dream look like for you? This may require a self-analysis. That way you can decide for yourself what you value, what will make you happy, and what you ultimately want to do. Maybe it's time to reevaluate what success looks like altogether and measure it by different metrics. Are you ready to take any necessary risks or do the complete opposite of what everyone else is doing? Are you willing to let go of this idea of the American dream completely? And this may make you feel uncomfortable for a while or even misunderstood. So let me know what you all think down below in the comments. Do you believe it's alive and well in the way that we've always known it? Should we lean in closer to the second definition and utilize the ability we have in our freedom of speech and the way that we criticize the way that we live? Or do you believe you can't have one without the other and they both need to be true in order for this dream to become a reality? So in that case, it's completely dead. It's time to move on, let go of this dream in order to find your own. And again, before I sign off, I want to note these are all opinions and answers may vary. That's okay. I'm sure for a lot of Americans, the American dream in the way that we know it still rings true and it's all that they know, and they don't wish for any other way of living or way of life. I'm also aware there are a number of foreigners that are still looking to come to America to escape worse living conditions in their home countries or even corruption, and are looking for the freedoms and opportunities that America can still offer. I don't want to ignore these realities, but I'd love to hear your perspectives, especially if you're unsure about how you feel or you're indifferent about the topic, and maybe we'll touch on different aspects of it in future videos. But for now, that's it. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and I will see you in my next video.